2020 or 2020. Larry Ridley here. Esports Extra, the only live call in sports show talking traditional sports and esports. We'll take your phone calls 877-853-5247. Meeting ID Esports Extra. That is 377-678-9872 at the pound button twice to join the show. Larry Ridley, SNY. Little NBC Sports, little Madden NFL, little NBA 2K League. Fresh off the plane, the bird. Look at that bird. Look at that charter. Yeah, that's my boy Young Thug would say. Fresh from the A back here in Jersey, was down there with my sister. Might be
Listen,
maybe one day.
listen, if you want to just go on and move down here, Larry Laptop, you are welcome. You see, it's nice down here and everything. The weather, it's hot Atlanta. It's hot Atlanta.
It's hot. What's up, RENEE Montgomery? I think that's how we say your name. Right?
Correct. Yes, I need to go through the list and make sure all of you guys can say my name right now because it's a thing. But what's up, Larry Laptop?
How you doing, RENEE? It's good to have you back here in your customary spot on a Wednesday. We got Siobhan's husband, because she's the boss, who pays the cost. Hey, Willie, no hoodie today. It must be hot in Dalworth, right?
It is 104. And just so we get this clear, I'm third on the list. Is Siobhan is the boss. Then the next boss is Jordan, my daughter. And then there's me.
Oh, yeah. Smart man.
I agree. I got 3 boys and 1 girl, and the girl runs the household. Absolutely.
No question.
I'm with you on that. And D-Dubs, he's got a little king too. Who's running your household? I'm gonna give it to Mrs. Worrell. All right.
Yeah, I ain't gonna go that far.
I
ain't giving that up.
D-Dubs said, "I'm the man." I wear the pants in this
ways
household.
to stay on brand, Derwin.
Make sure his headphones are good, okay?
I want to make sure I got this right. Derwin, you're saying you're the man. It ain't Mrs. Worrell. It's you, right? That's what you're saying.
It's a joint effort.
Oh, okay. The retraction.
Boy, you soft as Twinkie feeling, man. Good stuff, guys. Hey, we'll take your phone calls here, 877-853-5247. Meeting ID Esports Extra, 377-678-9872 at the pound button twice to join the show. Snook and Diddy, what's up?
Hey.
Check and make sure they on here now because they had trouble with the link. Let me see.
Well, the link is twitch.tv/compete, the number 4 and ever. Also, Serena Grace. And now, with the singing of our national anthem, please join us with
you're killing it
recording
today.
artist, Serena Grace.
Shouts to my wifey. Shouts to my wife.
Hey.
Can't forget about the makeup artist, that cute little Dominican mommy.
Guy.
Damn Cruz. Yeah.
Okay, Mike Howard.
Be good, RENEE Montgomery.
Oh,
We'll get into that. We're going to end the show with a bang today, man. So the best video that I saw all day yesterday and today. Nothing compares to this. We'll get into that. All right, we're going to talk college football today. Big 10, Pac-12, SEC, ACC, Big 12, the Power 5. Also a little bit of the Group of Fives as well. Scott Frost, former coach at UCF, now at Nebraska. Nebraska, they're not going to play football in the Big 10, but I guess they want to play football. I don't know where they're going to go. Sun Belt, Conference USA, what the hell are they going to do? Join the SEC for half a year. I don't know what they're going to do. We'll talk about that. One of RENEE's favorite players, one of my favorite players too. We're going to talk about Dame time. It was definitely Dame time last night. Dropped the 60-piece last night. I believe, what, 3rd time this season? So Dame Lillard. Dame Dollar doing his thing. Kyle Kuzma, maybe is he the key to the Lakers? We'll get RENEE Montgomery's take on that. She's the only player on here that's actually garnered a check playing professional basketball. Definitely want to hear from her. Hey, Willie, he got to see on the sidelines a little bit and scout guys who can earn a check and also played in college. And
he might be the better option. He can break it down.
And me and Derwin, we get paid professionally to critique them. So, hey, we all bring something to this.
Right.
And Kevin Mamuzet gets paid to push the right button. So
yes, sir.
We're all
yes,
about
coach.
We'll talk about the Suns intro as well. I thought that was very cute. Not the first time we've seen it, but it was very exact. That was the right word on that one, Derwin. Julian Edelman talking about his old quarterback and his new quarterback, Tom Brady and Cam Newton. We'll talk about that. Major League Baseball playoff bubble. We'll get our thoughts on that. Is that feasible? I think it is. We'll talk about that and see if they can keep these COVID cases down. RENEE, since people, other hosts have had a hard time pronouncing last names, Paige's last name, the UConn recruit and commit. What is her last name? Is it Bukers?
Oh, yeah, I think it's Buchers, but don't be putting me on the spot like
I don't
that.
know.
Don't be putting me on the spot. I'm gonna tell you what. If I was interviewing her, I would make sure that I had the correct pronunciation. Don't get me the line on here.
Oh man.
Paige. Shouts to Paige though. Speaking of,
bad
she was
girl.
the top of the list on athletes that would make the most money, including college football, men's basketball, any sport. Paige was at the top of the list. So shouts to Paige on that.
Wow, with the Neil name, image, and likeness.
Yeah, she was number one on the list, college football included.
Wow, and that's Trevor Lawrence, Justin Fields,
all
those
of
guys.
them. All of them.
Like
he was second. He was second, actually. Yeah.
Okay, girl power, man, for us girl dads out there. NBA 2K League, the ticket. No OG tonight. He's preparing for an interview. I think he's going to call in. We'll get him to call in and talk a little NBA 2K League. Matt in 21 has OG. That's right. Oh, yeah. I just thought of that. Yeah.
You see, I got my guy. Shouts to OG.
OG King Curt. Madden 21, the yard, a new mode, and Madden is basically backyard football. We'll talk about that and the similarities with NFL Street and other games. Compete Forever on Black News Channel this weekend. One of my favorite shows this weekend, episodes, the Shaolin Showdown. We were in Staten Island, home, of course, think about Shaolin, Wu-Tang Clan. So that was pretty good to be in the home of Shaolin and Wu-Tang Clan. One, but boy, Bart Scott, can't wait. And then at the end, you see Montgomery. We'll explain how you go from Montgomery to Montgomery.
I can't believe y'all put that on the Runner Show. I can't.
Is that a new mountain?
It's funny. Coach K, exactly. Coach K, get in here. We talked about it. He's like, hey, Renee's going to be cool with that. I said, dude, I already cleared.
Of course.
I told him.
No, but you see,
listen.
I felt sorry for the dude. I was like, look, we're fellow podcasters. Because I already have a rule that I don't criticize other people that do like events and stuff like that. I'm like, because I empathize with them. So I kind of felt sorry for him, but Larry was like, nope. I was like, hey, man.
Nah, listen, I told him on air, send me the clip. Now, what does that mean? I said, yo, send me the clip. So he knew.
Run me that audio.
Run it back. Absolutely. All right, guys, let's start at the top. Once again, we'll take your phone calls live here on Esports Xtra, the only live call-in sports show talking traditional sports and, of course, esports. Your phone calls 877-853-5247, meeting ID Esports Xtra. Hit the pound button twice to join the show. Thanks, everybody watching on Twitch, Facebook Gaming, and also YouTube. Great cast here. We've got 3 other characters joining me. Derwin Worrell, RENEE Montgomery, two-time WNBA champ. See, you can't forget that. You got to know what you're talking about when you talk about the 2-time WNBA champ. And A. Willie, former exec at Nike, basketball scout in the NBA, a little baseball, played a little college basketball. So I did my homework here.
I like it.
I appreciate you. I appreciate you.
Derwin Worrell, National Association of Black Journalists, fellow sportscaster, all around.
Come on now, NABJ just had their convention, right? Yeah. I was on it. I did something with you guys. Come on, Derwin.
I saw you. Absolutely.
We appreciate you.
Yeah, we did. I paneled. I moderated a panel on esports, so definitely I saw all the things they were doing as far as tweeting out about RENEE. All right, guys, college football, Big Ten, Pac-12, no go this year. We kind of saw this coming. Derwin mentioned this on, what was that, Sunday. This was coming around the bend. They talked about it Monday. Then it looked like they backed off, and then they went ahead and said, you know what the hell with it, we're going to do it on Tuesday. You knew the Pac-12 had that parallel sort of track with them because they had some teams already played preseason or, out-of-conference games with the Pac-12 and the Big Ten. Your thoughts on this? They sort of, looked at the medical professionals, heart conditions, COVID-19 and all of those things. They want to try to push this thing to the spring. Are you on board with canceling the Big Ten and the Pac-12 this year? We'll start with you, D-Dubs. I definitely got to get your take on this.
I told you, no one should be playing. They should cancel the whole damn thing. So we got 2 out of the Power 5 to cancel.
Yep. The
other 3 trying to hang on. You got Nebraska upset because they are in the Big Ten, and they talking about they want to play football, and then I kind of used to be in the Big 12. So there was a question about them possibly going back, but I think the commissioner said no one has talked to him about it. But I think it's Pac-12 already had their own problems dealing with some of the players have a list of demands. So they were dealing with that. They're dealing with
the
COVID,
coalition, the boycott. Absolutely.
Right. And then you have the Big Ten, one of the biggest, premier conferences in college game. I feel like once those two did what they did, the dominoes will begin to fall. So now you have the SEC and the ACC. SEC is primarily the biggest and baddest conference in college football. What are you going to play for if you only have 3 conferences left? You playing for a bowl game? You playing for a champ? How are you going to crown a champion? I don't understand what their thinking is.
Good point.
If they're going to continue to try to play, I mean, can you crown a champion if you just have ACC, SEC, and the Big 12? You're going to crown a champ? Is that what we're doing? I don't understand that.
A great point.
Well, I mean, you think about it, you got these people in the college football playoff just willy-nilly just picking 4 teams. So, I mean, this is what college football is all about. It's all about just, smoke and mirrors. It's all about opinions and who we think is good. So we've been doing this for 100 years in college football. It's not a problem. I mean, you had writers.
It will be a problem, though. This is
picking champions. So, yeah, I mean, it's not.
This is different because then Ohio State is sitting there. They're normally pretty good on the sideline going, hey, we would have played, we would have a shot at this thing too. I don't see how they can move forward. And, I was doing some research today, the semifinal bowl games would have been at the Rose Bowl and the other one would have been at Sugar Bowl. And Rose Bowl's a hot spot right now with COVID going on in California. Championship game was supposed to be at the Orange Bowl, Florida. So, I mean, they
and Louisiana was up. Louisiana.
Yeah. So I don't know what the end game is after they play these 10 games.
That's what we're going to find out.
Yeah. I don't know.
Let's bring in Renee. Renee, your thoughts here. Big Ten and Pac-12 will focus exclusively on those 2 conferences. Then we'll hit with the SEC, Big 12, and also ACC. But your thoughts on the Big Ten and the Pac-12 pushing things to the fall for now. And we still don't know where this virus is going to be. But your thoughts just on the science, being there for the student athlete and not put them in harm's way, especially with the new research talking about heart conditions and how that affects, the heart.
Well, my thought is, it's different. And you're talking science, but I'm talking also the body. So pushing it to the spring means there's going to be 2 seasons in 1 year. Now, while some people may think that that's not a big deal, if you're playing basketball and other sports, it's probably not. Like WNBA players, we play 2 seasons every year. But when we're talking football and the pound and the wear and tear on your body, you need recovery time. Like football players probably need more recovery time than any other sport. So I think about it for that. I think about it for seniors. Like, why would they play in the spring? Like the top tier ones, that's a risk. So there's just so many variables about them postponing. Yeah, I think it's the right decision. I think they should postpone / cancel. I know I feel bad saying cancel because that's canceling somebody's senior year, but it's like, it's just this climate that we're in. It's just not it. Like we all want it to happen, but if it's just not the right thing to do right now, it's not the right thing to do.
Hey, Willie, we saw the, Ohio State go from, hey, we're going to play, they had protocols, they had different phases for the Big Ten. Hey, we're going to have maybe 20, 30, 40, 50,000 fans. Maybe the horseshoe could be half full to, this was literally like a month ago to now, damn, they're not even playing. Hey, Willie, like, that was a precipitous fall, if you know what I mean. You know what I'm saying?
No question. It's so crazy how that sort of morphed into what we have now. And, it's interesting, too. It speaks to how when you look at college football, especially how we're talking, how those Power 5 conferences will look to kind of do their own thing. And this is sort of the prelude to that. It also speaks to the fact that there really isn't a leader in that as well, with all of these conferences doing whatever they want to do. And in fact, speaking of Ohio State, you got Ryan Day coming out and saying, you know what, we'll just play the teams that want to play, Nebraska, Michigan, Penn State, which is like crazy to me to hear that. And especially knowing that we have some of these things that we're talking about in terms of some of those long-term effects.
He's thinking, I want to get at least a few games out of Justin Fields before he bounces.
That's exactly right, which again speaks to what we're talking about, right? Yeah. And then the other thing it says to me is, to me, and maybe I'm being a cynic when I say this, the real reason why these conferences are doing this is because when we had we are united with the Pac-12, this gives college football more time to deal with that alliance. So what they're trying to do is buy time to deal with these players sitting out and making these demands. That's what they're doing. And so because you saw it with the Pac-12, then you saw it with the Mountain West, then all the other conferences started to join in. So what they're really trying to do is COVID-19 has pulled the curtain back on the fraud that college athletics is at the highest level.
No, the lights have been turned on. The cock.
Yes. So they're trying to figure out, how do we deal with this? Because they sort of sprang that on them. So they're trying to figure out, how do we deal with this?
Yeah, good point. Let's turn our attention to the SEC, ACC, and Big 12, the other three part of that Power Five. They're still holding on. Greg Sankey down in the SEC. When we first started, I said, guys, they play football down south. You think about all the teams that are left right now.
Oh, yeah, you said it's a religion down south.
Texas, Alabama,
my
Florida.
wedding was impacted because of, a hurricane, but also because SEC football coming back as well. Look, I mean, I think out of the bowl games, there are like, I want to say 41, 42 bowl games. There's not enough teams to fill the bowl games now. There's only like 70, 75 teams left, and all of them are pretty much in the southeastern part of the country. You think about the schools that are left, SEC, ACC, and Big 12.
Yeah.
Everything is pretty much below the Mason-Dixon line and, east of Texas or whatever. So your thoughts on the SEC, ACC, and Big 12, as we speak now, still holding on. I think they're going to try to play Durban. They're going to do everything in their damn power to play. And also this hashtag, we want to play. And also thinking about, the sort of, sticking his thumb on the scales a little bit with Trump, also saying, hey, I want to see college football as well. Talk about that impact as well, D-Dubs.
SEC, I know they want to play, but is anybody thinking about the kids?
No.
Nobody's thinking about the kids.
But that's what a lot of these proponents are saying. Think about the kids. They want to play, but it's like, look,
you got to protect the kids from themselves.
You do, and you think about waivers. Waivers all the time don't work. Depends on the state that you're in as well. So you can have problems with waivers, man. Like you're asking for, what do you call it?
I'm normally alarmed. If I have to sign a waiver, that's alarming to me. I'm like, whoa, what do I got to sign a waiver for? So that's alarming. But go ahead, Derwin.
I still think that, I mean, you have three conferences left. If one more leaves, are you gonna have two conferences play college football? I still don't think it's gonna happen. They could say that they want to try, but I still don't think it's going to happen. Because you can't have three conferences and then play 10 games and say we're going to crown a champion. Yeah, I just don't see it. And then COVID is running this show, and it's running wild in the South. Even though South football is a religion,
No, to your point, we had 200 deaths yesterday in Atlanta, the highest ever.
And we forget, LSU had a couple of players already about a month or two ago with COVID. I remember
they had like 30-something test positive.
Right. So, I mean, and the fall is coming, the winter's coming. This is going to pop up again with the regular flu and everything going on. I just don't see it, man. They say they want to play. I just don't see it happen.
Renee, you're down south.
Yeah,
I'm in F, as they like to say. You're right there. What do you think? You think the SEC and the ACC and the Big 12, you think they're going to find a way to play some games? I don't know if they'll finish the season, but Derwin, I'm going to maintain my statement. They are going to play football down south. They're going to do everything in their power.
Listen, you've stood on that. I will say you've stood on your 10 toes on that since it's been talked about. And I don't see it. I just don't see, especially it's a domino effect. So when one conference opts out, there's pressure. Then when another one opts out, there's more pressure because you're going to have to explain why your kids are safer than their kids were. So that's the problem with these different conferences. Now that you have two conferences that have basically said, yeah, we can't do it. It's not safe, basically. Now the ACC, SEC, what are they saying? They're basically saying, look, yeah, we have the same not safe environment, but we're still going to play. So I don't know. I just don't see that going well. You see the NFL, they barely might make it to the finish line to start a couple of games. So I just don't see it. I don't understand how. Net Gators and all, I don't see it.
Hey, Willie, is there any way they can, how about this? Maybe not finish the season because, look, the virus is in control. But, look, we're thinking September's next month. So we're looking at games starting sometime next month within the next 4 or 5 weeks, 6 weeks max. I think the SEC is September 26th. We're looking at 6 weeks, right? Do they at least start in the ACC, SEC, and the Big 12? I'm going to say, yeah. I'm not changing my mind. I'm not doing it, A-Dubs.
I agree. I think they're going to do everything possible because, when you're looking at this after the first two conferences made their decisions, the Big 12 was sort of looked at as like the swing conference. And they made a decision saying, yeah, we're going to do this, which is not surprising that they're going to play or at least try to play. So I think they're going to do everything in their power to try and play. And then, as you said, when you have Trump putting his toe in the water to kind of really, at least when you look at where these conferences are, that just incites and infuses the base in the South. And I'm here in the South. So with that being said, I think they're going to do everything they can. You're going to also see the big bad SEC behind closed doors try to recruit other teams as well. They're going to go renegade and go outlaw and try to recruit other teams. Renegade. Yeah. That's what they're doing. That's what they're going to do. So with that being said, yeah, right. They're going to do everything possible to try to play. And again, you start thinking again, and I say this a lot here, in terms of you think and he said it when he made his statement, these are young, powerful, strong athletes. You look at me as a superhuman.
There's a bunch of young bucks out there.
That's exactly what he said.
I actually think that's going to hurt them because at this point, anything Trump says, people almost say that you're supposed to do the opposite. So I think that if I was the SEC, I would be like, whoa, bro, we got it. Because you don't want that's not going to help. I think the reverse is going to happen. People are like, oh, Trump wants it to happen.
Well, that's still his part.
I hope so.
I
hope so.
It is, but it's shifting. There's a shift going on because the kids, I'm telling you, the kids in school. So people are now, everybody was fine with it until they got to babysit their kids a whole nother school year. Now everybody's like, again? And it's like, parents are not with this, that now they're like, we got to change things. I think that's what's shifting the culture.
Well, also you look at it. Also, the dynamic. Well, he's like, oh, I don't really care about the NFL. They're gonna kneel. I don't want to watch them play. But now he's pushing college football. So there's always some sort of weird dynamic working at beat ups.
The ACC is the next league to back out. They're gonna opt out.
You think so? Mm-hmm. You've been on it. You've been on it.
I believe it.
That's my next prediction. ACC. Cooler heads.
So then what happens? what happens when they opt out? You still think those other
It's a joke. You can't have two conferences play a season. Yeah, come on.
That's what I mean. So how do you think a game will be played, Larry Laptop? For the people that why do y'all think it will be played if there's going to be two conferences? I know people would want to steal a championship. Like I've heard players going into these bubble scenarios like, ain't no asterisks beside this year. I'm going to go play. So I know at all costs an athlete will try to steal a championship, but why do you think that would happen? If you do you agree that ACC will opt out? Because I do too. I think they will.
I think they're going to start the play, but you're right. It gets down to one or two or three conferences.
How?
You still have those other groups of five. Look, Middle Tennessee, they're still working out. They play Army in like 3 weeks.
Recruit. That's it. That's what I'm saying.
I'm actually going to go to the game September 4th. They're going to play Army here at West Point. You still got Conference USA. You still got the Sun Belt. Middle Tennessee plays Troy twice from a different conference. They're just trying to cobble stuff together at this point. Guys are still practicing. Look, they can pull the plug at any time because look, we're always at the mercy of the virus, but they're gonna at least try to play. Now, when it comes to bowls and a championship, I don't know what the hell they're gonna do, but we've seen it before, Derwin. We've seen writers pick a national champion. Like literally just forget it. Notre Dame is the champion.
Yeah, I mean, back in the day when they had the AP polls and the USA Today polls. But now they have.
There's a bunch of stuff.
That was back in the day. But we're past that. Now we have a playoffs. So they're not going to all of a sudden, if they play two conferences.
The committee said they're still meeting and they will figure it out. But that's right now. So
they got to play. We've been playing it on the field. We've been declaring our champion on the field. You cannot now and during a pandemic say, we're not going to do that. We're going to do a poll to decide who the champion is. That's so 80s.
Yeah, no, 18. Let's turn our attention to the Big Ten. We were just talking about, you mentioned it, Derwin, Scott Frost, former coach at UCF, head coach now at Nebraska. Cornhuskers play with a good buddy of ours, Amon Green, at Nebraska. You look at it, he said they're disappointed in the decision by the Big Ten Conference to postpone the fall football season. We have been and continue to be ready to play. Also said, we will even entertain playing in another conference. I think the Big 12 will be a good matchup. They just left the Big 12. They They've had some sort of dealings with some of the SEC teams, Texas A&M, Arkansas back in the day. Do you see that Nebraska? You think they will actually? We just heard A Willie up there talk about Ryan Day and Ohio State. Like, look, we'll play somebody. You actually think we can get some cross intersectional rivals and games here with leagues and conferences that aren't playing, but some of the teams still are? Like, the hell with it. We're going to, like, thumb our nose at you.
I don't think so. I think in the beginning, a lot of teams were upset because they wanted to play.
So this is bluster. Bluster.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like if you're part of a conference, you got to stay within your conference.
That's fair.
And what Nebraska is doing, I was watching, was it Desmond Howard earlier, because he was pissed off. He played at Michigan wide receiver, and he was like, he made a very good point, and I kind of feel the same way. If Nebraska goes outside of the conference, they got to go. They gotta go. You don't want them to be. You're supposed to be part of the Big Ten. And now we said we're not playing, and you gonna go outside and go play?
Yeah, that feels weird to me. I don't know. That feels weird. I'm uncomfortable with that.
That's good point. Come on, if you're supposed to be, we're not playing. We're not playing.
They said no. Y'all not playing. Y'all didn't listen to us.
I think there's a word for that. What is it? A Willie insubordination?
That's it. Yeah. That's it. They're trying to get that cheddar however they can get it. That's what they're trying to do.
And that's what Howard said. You're not Notre Dame. You're not independent. You can't just be going out there and think you're gonna play by yourself. Come on, you're part of the conference.
What do you think, Renee? You think they're just going to take their ball and go home? What are they going to do?
No, sir. I think that's weird to even say out loud. I would be like, I don't know. See, I think loyalty is my fault. I told you.
What it is saying the quiet part out loud. That's exactly what it is.
Yeah, they said it out loud. And I'm like, wow, you're bold. Like, usually people do stuff like that in private. You see, A-Dubs just said that, like, you said they're going to move in silence and they're going to be working. What are we talking about here? Y'all just going to leave us when we make a decision? Like, I don't like that, but I'm loyal to a fault. I know that about myself. So I can't without like leaving the we. Like, it's a we until somebody makes it not a we. And so they don't mess up the chat, bro. Don't make it weird.
Don't mess up the chat.
That's like guys being on strike and you cross the picket line.
It's called a scab. There's a term for that.
That's a good point.
So now when I see you in the next 2 years, I'm running up the score every time I see you.
Yeah.
Every time I see you, you're going to get it.
Memories. Yep. Short
hey,
memories,
it's been easy to do that against Nebraska since they joined the Big Ten, right? Yes, like, that's been easy to do.
Hey, Willie, there's no iron team, but there's an iron win.
Yes, it is. Facts.
So what do you think? You think they can pull this off, or is this just all, like I just asked, D-Dubs, is this just bluster, just hot air coming from them? Look, they're saying what a lot of people at the universities are thinking, especially the coaches. They want to play.
Right. Yeah, no question they want to play, and the commissioner of the Big Ten was like, yeah, they're not going to do that and be a member
Kevin
of the Big
Warren,
Ten,
he's a brother, just took a job beginning of the year.
So there's beef, right? Mm-hmm. So especially when you didn't have any problem trying to get into the Big Ten, get your way out of the Big 12 because you were upset that Texas was the main partner in the Big 12 and Texas wanted the lion's share of the money in the Big 12. So you want to get to the Big Ten so you can get that $52 million a year check from the Big Ten network. And you had no problem taking that cheddar in. Now you want to leave? You want to jump off the porch? Right?
Talk.
Yeah. So like, if you're going to do it that way, then it's real beef here. So especially, and it's not like.
What's beef for the kids at home?
You know what beef is? I asked Biggie what it is.
When you roll
commission
30 deep.
That's it. You remember the beginning of it? Yeah. Hey, you remember what he said? The commission. Hey. Right? So, and then it's not like they're Alabama either, where Alabama can say to the SEC, hey, look, if you guys don't acquiesce to this, we out of here. And maybe the SEC might have to say, you know what? Okay, let's rethink that. The Big Ten, Nebraska, come on now.
Come on now.
We'll see. Look, I mean, I'm definitely with you guys. Look, I'm just gonna say, look, don't color me skeptical a little bit on this one. Yeah, they're saying the quiet part out loud. I just don't know how they execute it. Look, I think they want to play. I think they would do it, but I think you're right. The repercussions would be so damn swift, man. The blowback, dude, would be so, vast. Like, I just don't know if they could survive that. You're right. Would the Big Ten kick them out? No. But man, they would be like the red-headed stepchild. They would be the black sheep, and they would suffer consequences, unimaginable to some of us what we're thinking now. So, but hats off to Scott Frost by saying what we all thought that they are actually thinking. So I will give him credit on that.
Buffalo somebody.
Let's go to keep it in college football. The Mountain West real quickly. I won't spend a whole lot of time on this. They're not going to play this year. One of those group of fives. You got the, what was it? Mountain West, American Athletic Conference, Action, Sun Belt, and then my boys, Middle Tennessee Conference USA. That's that other group of five, or they're just a group of five. Your thoughts on the Mountain West is very simple. Look, you can't play those Pac-12 teams and get those $500,000 $1 million checks. Yeah, there's only so much. As America, opining and just really, salivating for Boise State against Wyoming or San Diego State against Hawaii. Utah's in the Pac-12. That don't even count. I'm giving you real Mountain West teams.
I meant to say.
Yeah,
State.
Utah State. No, they're not. So you guys jump in on this.
Well, I was going to say it reminds me of like a UConn, my school, where they were just like, yeah, no, I'm not doing it this year. Why will we play? It's almost like one of those, there's no incentive. And then you really start to see what football is about. And that's what I think we talked about by, pulling away the mask. And you see also the reason they're not playing is because the money's not in it. It's not health. It's, you're not playing because we can't play against the big check teams. So I think people are really getting an inside look at how college football moves. So again, like you said, no shocker there. Why would they play? Because in their mind, it's like, it's a no-brainer. We're not playing. But fans are like, wait, why is it a no-brainer? We get it. But a lot of people may not see why it's so cut and dry.
Well, it also shows you that football is king. It makes all the money. Sometimes most of the money, actually all of the money for the athletic departments, it funds all of the other sports. We see all the other sports lose money all the damn time. But for some reason, the football team's like, we ain't trying to lose the money, dog. We ain't trying to do that. Hey, what's going on here, man? Look, point blank, there's just not enough TV dollars for the WAC and Conference USA and all these other schools to just, to fill those coffers.
That's what it's really all about. That's what it boils down to. And, so these athletic programs want to make sure that they are not operating as much in the red as they normally do. And let me say that real quick about them operating in the red. They're operating in the red on taxable income. There's this whole other hustle, right? That whereas they have untaxed income that's not taxed. Case in point, I was at Ohio State and, I went to one of the games, actually, this was a few years ago. My wife and I went, and at that time, Ohio State and Miami were both ranked in the top 5. It's probably 300,000 people outside of the stadium tailgating. So you actually have to get a spot on the tailgating list, and the wait list is like 38 years, and you have to pay to be on that list every year. So when a baby is born, they give them a spot on that tailgating list, right? And so you pay for that spot every year. That's untaxable income. Wow. So when they operate in the red, it is only on taxable income. It's all a hustle. And like RENEE was saying, they talk about, it's really about, and average Joe, it's hard for them to accept that this is really about revenue. And they come out and make it about safety. Right? That's what they wrap it in. It's a hustle, right? So that's the real truth. And whether people like it or not, that's the real truth.
Derwin, we've been talking about this for weeks. We're like, all right, you're going to lose money. The question is how much, right? The lesser of two evils. I guess the lesser of two evils is I'd rather lose some money and not play than lose a lot of money and try to play because we don't have the big paydays. It's dollars and cents. It's credits and debits. And right now there's a hell of a lot more debits.
And you probably, Bowie State, not Bowie State. Boise State is probably the top.
Bowie State ain't never made no money, dog.
Shout out to the CI. Shout out to the CI. Yes, sir. Shout out to the CI.
But Boise State is probably your biggest draw, and the other teams, Utah State, Nevada, that's capsule school. Yeah, San Diego State. It's not a draw. It doesn't make sense for them to play. Basically, dollars don't make sense. It doesn't make sense for them to even go out there. So they're doing the right thing.
Well, and not only that, you still got, you're traveling. You're still out west, and those are some large states out there. And it's money, to travel to Hawaii and to California, things of that nature. Like SEC, you can take bus trips literally the whole entire footprint, pretty much.
But there's a different kind of passion in the South, like in Texas. And Louisiana, it's just a different beast down there. And I can see why they're hanging on.
Well, and not only that, you probably will get some fans in the stands too. You'll have fans willing to take that risk to watch Alabama, or Georgia than say freaking,
Look, I said it about Ohio State when you asked me the first time, how many fans do you think will be in there? I said, listen, my Diddy, shouts to Snook and Diddy. Diddy is from Ohio. The Buckeyes will be there. If they open it up, they will be there. So that's to the same point of Texas. It's all the same cloth. Friday Night Lights is a thing in these places. Like that's a real thing.
Yeah.
They breed that up. So no. So that's why, to your point, there's a chance that it will happen. But I think once everyone else drops off, they're going to have to just be like, man, this is ridiculous.
All right, another football program dropping out. We're going to continue the college football portion of this program. It's a lot of news happening in the last, 24 to 48 hours. UMass football, Amherst, outside of Boston, 1A independent, or I guess I should say FBS, right? Willie, football bowl subdivision. I'm sorry, I played 1A. Well, I'm calling it 1A. Mama call it 1A. I'm going to call it 1A.
That's it. Facts.
UMass playing some other games at Gillette Stadium, I believe, after I left Boston. Look, I think it makes sense for them as a 1A independent, just like, Renee's beloved UConn Huskies there. Right call for them. I think in that instance, as a 1A independent, you probably should shut it down because you're going to lose a hell of a lot of money this year because you're not on TV, you're not drawing any fans. But at least the conference, you can cobble together and rework a TV package and maybe break even. I don't know, but for UMass, hell no, they're not breaking nowhere close to even. Go ahead.
No, not at all. Because I got one thing to say. You know who's on their schedule this year? Auburn. They can't get that check. We're not playing.
Good point.
Yeah. If they could have gotten that check, maybe.
Right.
They would have took that butt whipping.
They was counting their money on the way home.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, probably wouldn't have gotten at least $1 million, probably upwards towards $1.5 million. That's your damn football budget right there.
And you know what? In COVID times, I would have asked for some hazard pay from Auburn. if you want me to come down there and get the brakes beat off of me and get dog walked, I need some, you got to put another 500 on that cake.
Your thought on the Minuteman. The Minuteman said, hold up, wait a minute. The Minuteman said, wait a minute.
Yeah. I mean, there's really nobody for them to play. They're independent. I mean, so.
They can play the Sun Belt teams or Conference USA and make no money. And probably still get the ass beat because Middle Tennessee.
Right.
So really, we're talking about independence. So what is the big difference between Navy and Army? They're independents.
They are, but the way they're scheduled, I think Army used to be in Conference USA, but you're right. I think they're independent now. Navy, I think they're independent as well, but it's scheduling too, and it's also,
is Navy in the Mountain West?
Tradition.
Well, Navy used to. Well, they used to play.
I think they're in the Mountain West.
Are they in the Mountain? Really?
I think they are.
Annapolis to freaking San Diego? Really?
I think Navy's in the Mountain West.
Yeah.
I double check that. I know that Navy always had that relationship with.
No, I'm sorry. No, I'm thinking about Air Force. I'm sorry.
Okay, Air Force.
Air Force.
Navy, I believe, is independent because Middle Tennessee played them in a bowl game 4 or 5 years ago in Fort Worth.
Yeah, and they play basketball in the Patriot. Yeah.
And Navy normally plays. They have that relationship with Notre Dame.
They play Notre Dame every year. Yeah. Play Army, Commander in Chief trophy. Play Air Force usually. They play usually some other big schools. Some ACC schools and things of that nature. So they usually have a big schedule. Go ahead. I'll look up Navy's schedule and see what they're talking about.
Well, if you're independent, you're just hard pressed to find somebody to play when everybody else is just going to play conference games. So UMass really didn't have much of a choice. If they could have played Auburn, maybe
Navy's in the AAC. I forgot about that. American Athletic Conference. Okay. Used to be with UConn and those guys. Okay. So they would get the UCFs. The Tulsas, South Floridas, things of that nature. Yeah.
And that's tough. It's all the same. So now I keep saying it like this because common fans just don't understand how the business of sports work. So now if you can see that there's a UMass doing the same thing that a UConn is doing and it makes sense, you can start to put together why it makes sense and why that these certain conferences are moving a certain way. In the South, they make a lot of money. Even if they just played each other, they will make a lot of money. These other people, it's the haves and the have-nots, basically. So if you have, you're going to play because you have the money. If you have not, you're going to play because you don't have them. You're not going to play because you don't have the money. it's not about health. If we're that's what I'm trying to. It's not about health. They're trying to wrap it in a bow and make it about health. But you'll start to see a trend if you really pay attention.
You're looking at Navy's schedule. BYU was one of their big games. Of course, they always play Army, Commander-in-Chief trophy, like I talked about. Army, Navy, Air Force. They have that round robin. But basically, just the AAC tournament. The conference slate. And then, of course, the big game at the end of the year, usually played in Baltimore or Philly, Army-Navy game. So that's a big game. That draws a lot of fans, gets the president out there. Both teams usually make a pretty nice little penny off that. I'll keep it moving. Let's go NBA now. Dame time last night was 61, 5 and 8, 5 boards, 8 assists last night.
Oh yeah, it was all of that. It was all of that.
Yeah. What do you think about that, Renee? From a professional basketball perspective, I want to get your thoughts.
Point guard's perspective.
Listen, I have a lot to say about this.
Did the Clippers piss him off last night?
Of course they did.
60-point game. Third,
so you don't poke the bear.
Listen,
only the second player to do this, other than
Wilt Chamberlain. Wilt Chamberlain, yes. Wilt Chamberlain, yeah. So there's just certain players that I just don't poke. And they say don't poke a bear. There's certain players that when you poke them, they actually take it up and they go to this next level that you're like, whoa. For example, a Diana Taurasi, a Maya Moore. There's a certain beast inside of them that you just let them do their thing. They're probably going to get there. Leave them alone. They didn't only poke the bear, they slapped the bear, they elbowed the bear, they hit him with an uppercut. And as I was watching this whole thing unfold, anybody that knows the kind of bear and beast that Damian Lillard is, Dame time, I was like, oh, this is going to be must-see TV. Like, I couldn't wait. Like, I was waiting on pins and needles for the next game. Like, I know he was waiting, and he did not disappoint. He went out there. He told everybody, put some respect on my name. He made sure all of y'all knew that. He walked the walk, even when he had his walk-off interview. And I call it a walk-off interview because when you play like that, after people clown you, that's a walk-off. You knocked it out the park. And he said, look, I told y'all right now, he's just wiping his shirt casually, like, I came here. This is business. And look, like I came here to do one thing. I packed for 3 months. Like he's telling y'all, like, that's just, but everything that he did and everything he said, we knew he was that person. So it's not like I'm surprised by it. I just couldn't wait to see what was going to happen because I knew what to expect. Don't poke the bear. Don't elbow the bear. Definitely don't uppercut the bear. Wow.
Hey, Willie, we saw D Wade, DeMarcus Cousins, other people, Kevin Love last night, just, throwing the flowers and the roses at Dame time last night. Dame Dollar, man, he was about that cheddar last night, man. He's a different beast, man. Look, he's a top 10 talent in this league.
There's no question. And the crazy part about it is I'm glad that America is waking up to this, that Main Street fan, because if you are a hoop nerd, you already knew this.
Yep.
Right. So he's not doing anything that's saying, oh, wow, Dame is doing something that he hasn't done before. He's getting this all of a sudden status that he now deserves. Dame been deserved this. Right. So I'll say that's the first thing. And then for a dude to have, and he's the only guy in NBA history to have 2 games that are 60 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists. He's the only cat to ever do that twice, right? That says a whole lot. And then
he came off a 50 piece too.
Right.
Oh,
so the efficiency aspect of this, right? He's shooting 55% in these games.
32 shots, 32 attempts.
Yeah, this ain't just volume shooting. This is a cat that's converting at a high clip. And when you foul him, I'm going to the free throw line and I'm making that too. Right. So that's the other thing that's so crazy about it. The thing that really, and I'm going to be a wet blanket when I say this about Dame. And well, it's not about Dame, it's about Portland. I'll say this. What I started thinking about with CJ McCollum being hobbled a little bit, what I started thinking about was the 0-1 finals when the Lakers came through and they were 14. You had to win. At that time, you had to win. The first round series were 5 games, right? So they weren't 7. So the Lakers came through the playoffs undefeated. And they were waiting almost 2 weeks for the Eastern Conference to get done. They played the Sixers. Iverson gets 46 points, and they beat him in overtime. And I said to myself, if it's going to take 46 points every time for Allen Iverson for the Sixers to win, they aren't winning this series.
Sure.
Right?
That was the only game they lost that series, too.
Exactly. Yeah. That's the only game they lost the entire playoffs.
Yeah.
Right?
15-1.
So again, that's more so about their team. If it's going to take Dame doing this, I worry about them as a team.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
Right. But having said that,
that's why Draymond Green got fined. So he said,
right.
Devin Booker,
right. So having said that, like what this cat is doing is amazing. And again, I just want to hit on that. This cat is shooting 55% in these last 2 games, which is crazy.
Right.
That is
And
crazy.
all 20 to 30-foot jumpers. They call them logo Lillard, right? Y'all are out there. Derwin Worrell, your thoughts on this?
Shout out Melo as well.
Yeah.
definitely.
Actually, Melo just had him on his podcast. I know they did like some little IG live or something like that recently as well. Portland currently in the 8th spot as well. That's big too, because now whoever's in the 9th spot has to beat them twice. Probably not going to do that to Dame Dollar.
Yeah, man. Hats off to this guy. Tremendous effort. Just going back to the game against the Clippers, he played 39 minutes. He missed the 2 free throws, cost him the game. Since that time, 15 of 16 in the next game, and then 18 of 18 from the free throw line. I mean, not missing any free throws, just willing his team, putting his team on his back, refusing to lose. But I tell you what, I'm not a diehard Portland Trailblazer fan. These guys will give me ulcers watching them play because the one thing I don't like about them, I want them to get there. I'm picking them, but they don't close out games to me. Mm-hmm. And that game was on the table last night. Even after all his effort, I mean, he came up big, but I worry about them because
they're the classic 8 seed where it's like, look, at their best, yes, they can win games, but damn, they need their A game every single time to win. A B game won't work. It won't be enough. It won't suffice.
Yeah, they take a lot of energy, and they don't close out games. And in that game last night, did anybody play defense? I mean, guys were hitting like 30-foot shots.
The scoring in the bubble, D, is up for everybody. Except
crazy.
Right? Except
those guys are getting used to the rims. You know, they're getting used to those rims.
What?
Yeah.
Those guys were like hitting bombs. I'm like, Dallas wasn't missing shots. I mean, give Dallas some credit. I mean, I'm like old school dude. I'm old 80s, 90s. I love some defense.
You want to see some guys guarding.
You're not getting
it. Nobody's playing any defense. I got 130 to 125 games. It's crazy to me.
Yeah.
But Portland, they're entertaining.
Very entertaining.
I tell you what, they've got the attention of the next team we're about to talk about. We're talking about Kyle Kuzma and the Lakers. Like I said, look, the Lakers will win that series.
What team?
The
Lakers.
Yes,
yeah.
Okay.
That team that resides in Los Angeles.
I just wanted you to hear.
But you picked the Clippers, though.
Because they're the better team in my estimation.
Listen, he's a scout. He's scouting.
He's playing the fence.
I appreciate you, family.
But you beat on your chest with the Lakers, though.
Come on.
No, because that's actually because I had to do this earlier today, and somebody got on to me. They asked me, who did I think might win this year in the wobble? And I'm like, I think it'll be Seattle or LA. And they're like, wow, not Atlanta. That's messed up. And I'm like, huh? Atlanta? Like, you're asking me my professional opinion.
Sure.
Yeah. And
so they got me today on that. And I'm like, I think the Atlanta Dream is going to win the championship in the bubble this year. No, I don't. I think that Seattle or LA might do it. But yeah, people, I would love to see the Atlanta Dream go up there and just get a ring, and they better throw me one too.
I was about to say,
listen, shoot me one too, but
So it'll be like 3-time up in this piece.
That's right. Yeah.
I don't know if I could rep that. I couldn't rep it like that. I just want it for the case.
But no, I just like to mess with A. Willie, because he talks Lakers and Clippers. Like, dude, pick one. Like, we don't get to pick Yankees and Mets. I don't get
no. I told you. You see the jersey in the back. You see but I'm just being objective. I'm being objective. I'm being objective.
Well, stay in the Clippers lane and don't come back to the Lakers.
You got me on here being objective, but if we're talking about my affinity, right, that's a different story. Now, again, for any NBA team that's listening, if you want to send me a check, then I'll roll with you. Right.
I don't think the Lakers get anywhere near there.
The guy knows how to scout. That's for sure. He can definitely help the organization out. Let's speak of the Lakers. We'll talk about Lakers. Kyle Kuzma had the big shot, big win Monday night. Lakers, ups and downs. I guess a lot of the talk has been, can Kyle Kuzma be that number 3 guy? They need him to be that number 3 guy. Kuzma talked after the game, after that big 3 to win the game. Monday night that, look, he'd be a starter on pretty much every other team in the league. And he probably would. I don't know if he would start on every team, but at least 20 of them, 2/3 of them, bare minimum. He talked about playing behind two of the best players in the league. He is. But I like the quote that he had about, I think Jesus could be in front of me and I'd probably still shoot. I love that about the young guy.
Yes, sir.
Shot, had a nice, cute little young model out there. He's got another one. So he's used to shooting his shot.
Shout out Flint, Michigan. That's what that is. Hey. Flint,
so if it don't apply, let it fly. That's what I say. Listen, so he's one of those guys. He's a shooter. I like it. I don't know. I like all this bubble talk. I like all this chatter. I think players are feeling real comfortable in the bubble. We had players going back and forth on Twitter. We had Twitter beef. We have Kuzma going at Jesus. I mean, like, what's going on in the bubble?
Respect.
He said if Jesus laced him up, I'm gonna give him work too. But I don't know. I'm here for all of this like talk. I'm here for the competitiveness. I don't know. I'm just an ultimate competitor. So this is all great for me. Kuzma's like, look, don't get it twisted. I'm coming off the bench, but I'd start everywhere else. So don't try me. I am that number 3 choice. If they want me to, I can read what players are saying without what they're saying. So he's saying that basically I'm a starter quality. Yes, I can be that number 3 pick. I could do this more often if they let me, basically is what I hear from politically correct talk. So I'm here for it all. But if you do say that, and now if you come at my man Jesus, now you better show up and show out.
Right. And not Shuttlesworth. We're talking about the
yes.
Jesus on the main line.
Hey, Willie, we saw he and LeBron early in the year, a little bit of beef with the trainer and things of that nature. But LeBron co-signed and saying, look, we need Kuz, man. We need him to be that third option.
No doubt. And let's say this in fairness to Kuz, where he is in a tough situation because, when you're a young player, you can attest to this, Renee, when you first get to the league, when you are a young player, your first priority is I got to prove myself so I can get my second check, right? So now, and that was the mode that he was in. Then all of a sudden the team acquires LeBron, and now that changes. Then they acquire AD, and now it's about winning. And so with him, now he's got to walk that line of, I got to keep showing out so I can get my check, but I also got to fit into the team concept as well, right? Yeah. So the fact that he said, hey, I could do this against anybody, and he said, if our guy Jesus was guarding me, then I'm going to do it crazy on him too, right? The fact that he said that, I respect that, and that's actually what the Lakers need. Right. Because, again, when you look at them as a team, this dude's 16 points a game in the bubble, 44% from the field. He's probably the only one on their team right now that's shooting well.
Yeah.
Right?
They've had some shooting woes. Absolutely.
Yeah. So for this dude to be like, you know what? And I say this, the great Kobe Bryant always said that Derek Fisher was his favorite player to play with. Right. Renee can attest to this as well. The reason why Derek Fisher was his favorite player because A, the work ethic, but B, Derek Fisher didn't allow Kobe Bryant to buffalo him into not being a basketball player because Kobe Bryant needs Derek Fisher. So if Kobe Bryant, being the unstoppable force that he is, right, is asking for the ball and you're wide open, you need to shoot that thing, Jack, right? And the reason being is because if you're out there passing up open shots, you just make Kobe's shot more difficult, right? So with that being said, they need Kuz to be like, you know what? Yeah, I got to fit into the team concept, but I got to be who I am at the same time.
Yeah, D-Dubs, you like this? You think he can be that third wheel? Can he help the Lakers get this chip?
First of all, I'm going to say I've taken Jesus with the sandals on, blocking the shot. With the sandals, blocking the shot. But yeah, they need a third guy because I don't think LeBron and Davis are going to be able to get it done. Especially if they got to play a hot Portland team and the way some of these other teams are playing down the stretch. The way Dallas was shooting the ball crazy last night. So they you always need that third guy, and you need consistency. I mean, he hit a big shot, but you got to do it consistently. You can't go out tomorrow night and lay an egg and go 0 for whatever. You got to be consistent. So one night doesn't, we got to continue on with the bubble and see how he plays down the stretch. But yeah, LeBron and AD, they're going to need a third guy.
Yeah, one night does not equal a championship.
Can I say one more thing about him?
Absolutely.
So the other thing too, I want to say about Kuz as well, and you saw it in the Clipper game. The other thing about him as well, since he's playing with more confidence offensively, you know what he's doing now? He's guarding cats as well.
I was about to say it's always been about the defense.
Yeah.
He's more in tune with that. You're right. I agree with you on that. I was just going to bring that up. I'm glad you cleared that up for us, A. Willie. The defense has always been an issue for Kyle Kuzma. We'll see if he pays more attention on that end of the floor. All right, well, we'll keep it in the bubble. Saw the Phoenix Suns do something pretty cool yesterday with the pregame intro. They had family members, sort of introducing those guys. I thought it was a great touch. Pretty cool to see, wives, girlfriends, kids. Even saw Devin Booker, had someone part of his family.
That's his
sister. Yeah, it's got what is it, Down syndrome or something like that. So that
he
was
does a lot of work in the community.
Yes,
on that. Community. Shout out D Book.
Yeah,
especially
and things of that nature. Yeah, being a scout with the Suns organization, he should be your guy. I like Devin Booker. Hopefully he stays in the Valley of the Sun out there with the Suns and help them build some stuff. Saw DeAndre Ayton, one of the first guys. He was surprised to see. He was like, hold on. What is this?
Was that his daughter?
No.
Okay. The little girl?
It was a little
girl. It's not his daughter.
Oh, okay. But yeah, he was in shock and I loved it. It touched me. Because we forget that these athletes, they're in a bubble. They don't get to play the game and then go back home to their families.
Right.
Separated for like 3 to 4 months. So just to see the surprise on their faces when they looked up at the Jumbotron to see their loved ones announcing them, I think it was a beautiful touch by the Phoenix Suns. Bravo to them. I loved it. It touched me. And I know you can see it touched them as well.
Yeah, now especially Devin Booker's daughter, University of Kentucky, Devin Booker, and DeAndre Ayton, and some of the other guys out there. Hey, Willie, your thoughts, man? Got to be close to your heart, man, with your former organization out there, PHX.
Yeah, a lot of my guys are still on that team that I push for sure. So love to see it. One of the things about the organization is, current history withstanding when we were trying to rebuild with young guys. The Suns are actually from a winning percentage standpoint in most wins, are actually the team that has the most wins in the NBA without getting the title. So this is a proud franchise, right? And they've also been very forward with some of the things they've done from a marketing standpoint. Their mascot is always does big things. Their mascot is making, I ain't pocket hustling here, but since they do big things, right? Yeah, $200,000 a year, right? So they do big things from a marketing standpoint. This is a proud franchise, and they also have proud fans and things of that nature. And it's good that they have something positive going on after Draymond calling out the Suns. He's done that more than once. He's done because he did it with Marquise Chris as well, another young cat that I pushed for, one of my guys. And so he's done that twice. And so it's good for them to get some positive press on top of the momentum that they're building in the bubble. Hey, we need some Wubble talk too.
Yeah, and we do. We're going to get into a lot of that. Ariel and all those good folks there. In the Wubble. But I look at it from I just thought it was like it was placed perfectly. You can tell the guys were really juiced and they felt it. We're going to talk tomorrow about the NBA bubble and allowing guests in. No LA.
You're not getting flued out.
So the NBA is thinking about those guys as the playoffs approach. I think it's after the first round. So beginning with the conference semis in the second round, you'll start seeing some guests and things of that nature. We'll get more into that. But I've got a sneaky suspicion you're gonna see some stilettos or some pumps in the arena somewhere.
Yeah,
you'll see.
They're calling baseball players figuring out how to get it in.
I've always said of all the pro athletes, the baseball players are the best when it comes to that. They're the
and Larry, hockey might be second, man.
I'm with you. Oh,
hockey might be second.
There's never any attention on them. It's crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, you think about it. Just look at it. Baseball guys, 81 days away. 81 days away. Different cities, same cities. I've got bros. I've got pros in different areas. That's what it is. I'm telling you, man. But we'll get into that another time. Speaking of a bro, the broski, the slot machine up in New England. Julian Edelman was talking about first time he's talked since Tom Brady left. Talked about how the train is sort of, hey, this train doesn't stop. Brady's not here anymore. I'm rolling with Cam now. He called Cam a large guy, a large stature, a large individual. Just your thoughts on Edelman having this little. He has no choice professionally. He's got to have a clean break from Brady. So, to be Cam's guy, now we saw them work out in LA, at UCLA, and other places and things.
Larry, where did they work out at? That's what I'm talking about. You see it.
In La La Land. We're going to do this every time we talk about LA?
Yes, sir. You already know. You better know it.
I like that. I'm here for it. I'm just going to say I'm here for it.
We're going to start with the queen of Esports Xtra because she's your queen to be. Go, Renee. Montgomery.
Listen, you better believe Edelman said all of that, and he probably said more that he's going to come later. This is the quarterback we're talking about. So when I say that, people have to understand how football works. This is the quarterback that we're talking about. They got to make everything go. Everybody knows that. So this is a no-brainer. If anybody thought he wouldn't have said that, what are you talking about? I didn't even think this was a story, but then I realized this is a story because everybody's like, isn't he buddies with Tom Brady? Yeah, but he's still got to make a living. Like, what do y'all expect him to do?
Yeah, this guy is throw me the ball.
Right.
So I was shocked that this is even a story. I don't care best friends or not. My best friend would be telling me to say all of it. So if this was a real best friend, he was probably like, yeah, bro, you better say that so you can get your catches. Like, I thought that this was normal.
Right.
So no
off to spite your face. Yeah, absolutely.
Right. So if this is the case, actually it shows that Tom Brady is a good friend then, because they've had a conversation about it before if they're best friends for real. And he probably was like, yeah, I'm going to have to endorse this guy. And Tom Brady was like, yeah, dude, do whatever. I'm sure that's how the conversation went. So here we are.
Well, I mean, you look at it, you said, look, obviously we played a lot of football together. They go back to, I was there in 2009 when they drafted him out of Kent State, former quarterback, 7th round. But he says, look, the train keeps moving and it will when I'm done playing here as well. That's an ode to the do your job. You're not long for, New England as long as, Belichick is there. So your thoughts on that? I thought it spoke volumes about the organization as well. Like, look, we don't throw pity parties around here. That's just not how we're built. Like, it is and football is the ultimate team game. It's the ultimate focus game. If you don't have all 11 guys pulling on the same rope, you're going to lose. You're going to get embarrassed. So it's hard to have one guy win by himself in football. So D-Dubs, your thoughts on that?
Well, I mean, like Renee said, what was he supposed to say? I mean, they're going to have to rally around Cam because there's no preseason. You can do all the practicing you want. And week 1 is going to be coming in a month. You better be ready to play.
Phase 2 started today. First day, all the guys on the field today.
Matter of fact, I got to go look at my Seahawk footage later on today because I know they were at cap today. But
Larry's represented for you. LL, you see it?
Yeah, I see it. Bring on the 12. But they got Sanu, Edelman. They got to rally around this guy. Edelman should be his best friend on that football field because he plays in the slot.
Absolutely.
Yeah, toss it, the check downs. Hopefully he don't throw it behind him when he's crossing across the middle. So, Edelman, he's been around this league a long time. Edelman knows Cam Newton is not Tom Brady. So he's got to get on.
To get in. I was thinking on it.
Yeah, he knows he's not Tom Brady. So he's got to try to get on one page with this guy and be his best friend so he can get the ball, so he can make things happen.
So good.
Because if you look at that wide receiving core for the Patriots, he's still the best guy that Cam is going to have.
Yeah, I think it's Edelman, it's N'Keal Harry, and it's Mohamed Sanu. You're absolutely right.
Harry's got a lot to prove. He's not proved anything. Sanu ain't doing nothing last year. It's Edelman.
Surgery. It's Edelman, but I mean, they're going to be different. With Brady, it was all about the slot receivers. We saw that for last 15, 20 years. It'll be a little different this year the way it looks with a different quarterback in Cam. Don't forget about Damian Byrd too, played with Cam in Carolina, speedy guy. Maybe can help them. Damian Byrd. Hey, but you need some speed, and he's the one guy on the team on that offense that has some speed to kill. Hey Willie, your thoughts here? Look, I mean, does this change anything for New England? Like, do you still see them as 8-8, 9-7 like D-Dubs? I think he's crazy, by the way, when he says that. Cray. But what do you think?
Well, a couple of things stood out to me.
We'll let you get another shot. I'll see you over there.
Because he talked about playing with Cam with it being intriguing. Now, a couple of weeks ago, when Cam said we can do some different things, people killed him for that, right? Now, Julian Edelman is actually saying, yeah, we can do some different things. That's my guy in Tampa Bay, but we can do some different things that we haven't been able to do with him here, right? So again, not talking about who's better, it's different, right? So, and then also too, to your point, LL, Julian also got on brand with the Patriots as well. When he started talking about those superlatives with Cam, he also said, yeah, Hoyer and Stidham are also doing their thing too, right? So that was very New England.
Yeah, what do you call him? Hoister, I think is what it's
right.
Steady.
Right. And then the other thing too, when you're reading it, one of the things that really stood out to me was you had Josh McDaniels saying Cam is very smart.
Yes, glowing remarks.
Yes, talking about how smart he is. So
he's been in the league 10 damn years. He shouldn't know something.
No question. And that's exactly what he said. He's seen everything, right? D, we're not gonna get on this. I'm gonna let you.
I know. Let's not do it.
I'm gonna let you finish.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Get off the chest.
I just think it's downright disrespectful that people think that Cam Newton's gonna come in there. What Tom Brady? What were they, like 12-4 last year? Tom Brady?
Yeah.
So people really think that Cam Newton's going to come there with the same weapons that Tom had and basically have like the same record. It's not going to happen. Okay. They're not winning 10 to 12 games.
You don't think they're winning 10?
No. How? How? Tom Brady with that same team. I mean, they won their games because defense played really well.
Well, that's the thing. It's not the same team because on the defensive side,
you keep going back to Matt Castle. That was eons ago. Come on, man. Matt Castle was a bum. We know he was a bum.
So good.
That was a long time ago. It's like Kaepernick. You go back you got to go back 5 years.
Oh man, here we go.
Mute his mic.
Oh, come on.
Done it again. He's done it again.
Matt Castle. You keep going way back to Matt
Castle.
They
won 11 games with a guy that last played quarterback in high school. Dog,
y'all gonna be so heartbroken. I'm telling you. Y'all gonna be heartbroken.
We're gonna revisit this. Like, okay,
it was no cakewalk for Brady last year.
I'm gonna let you know it wasn't. It
wasn't. It was. And he's a GOAT. And it hurts me to say this. He's the GOAT. And it was easy for him last year.
You're not going out on a limb to say guy went to 9 Super Bowls good.
But it finally caught up to him in the playoffs. He did all that he could.
He was frustrated about game plan. He wanted more input. He wanted more money. And Belichick is the guy there, so I get that dynamic.
About the play, year, it wasn't easy for Brady last year.
Well, the receivers were hurt. Sanu had both ankles injuries.
They didn't help him. There was no Gronk. They didn't help him at all. So true. Now Cam Newton is nowhere near the quarterback that Tom Brady is. And
but he's different. He can do different things. You can get the same result.
He's going to run. What is he going to do?
Well, no, it's the threat. It's the threat of things. You have to pay attention to things now.
He's not 25. He's not 20. He's not 25 anymore.
Look, I don't want to sit here and make it a referendum on Cam versus Brady. All I'm saying is the guy's accomplished. It's not like we're bringing Hoyer in here, dude. Like, this guy's accomplished. And Hoyer's accomplished. He took Houston to the damn playoffs.
Well, he's accomplished. That's past. We're talking about where he is now as a quarterback. The last time we saw this guy.
We can do this with you, like Skip Bayless. We can do this with everybody. Then. We can literally do this with everybody.
You keep trying to go back to 2015 Cam. That guy's gone.
Okay, so Seattle going to be good this year?
Yeah, they're going to be good. Yes.
They were good last year. It doesn't matter. It's a different year.
Well, my quarterback's better than Cam.
But it's a different year.
It's not even close.
It's a different year. They might not. It's any good.
No, it's the same team for the most part.
Okay, how many Super Bowl appearances for Russell? 2, right?
2, yeah.
Okay, got to win. 1 for Cam. How many MVPs for Russell?
Yes, none. You don't need an MVP.
How many for?
How many? You can see what an MVP means.
How many for Cam?
He has 1 MVP.
Okay. So he's done some things in this league, right?
1 MVP. 9 years in the league, 9 years in the league, and 3 winning seasons. What does that mean? He's going to the Hall. He's a Hall of Famer.
Not right now.
He's a Hall of Famer.
Not right now. No.
Only Yellow Jacket he got to have to buy it. Have to buy it.
The book is still being written right now for Cam.
With a scarf with it.
Yeah.
You got to stop this, Derwin. You got to stop this.
Derwin, never stop this.
I real disappointed.
Yeah, you can't be treating these guys like they're just bums off the street, man. Like
it's really funny to hear. You can tell he believes it in his heart. So that's why I like watching. I'm like, he believes.
We got to keep moving because
hold on. I watched people last week post. I think Sanu posted a picture, a video of him catching a deep bomb from Cam Newton, and I'm sitting there going, it's like a 15-second video. I mean, you guys were practicing for how long, and that's all you get. That's all you put out there. That's it.
No, don't.
What happened to the film?
We keep everything secret.
How many times did he throw the ball at his knees? How many overthrows? Come on, man. That's suspect. You got one clip. You've been out there all day. You gave me one clip. Come on, man. What
about the Seahawks? They haven't been to the conference championship game in the last 5 years. Does it mean they suck?
No. But
it's
the film speaks for itself.
It's a team game.
We've
seen Russell struggle, and what do? They blamed it on the offensive line. It all depends on who's defending you.
That is
true. He didn't have weapons, but I mean, Tom Brady didn't have weapons either. I mean, we can do this all day.
They said, Russell didn't have real weapons. They said it was pedestrian.
He missed the playoffs.
He made household names as Jermaine Kearse.
Missed the playoffs too.
Yeah, once.
Yeah, and the time they did go to the playoffs and they got thrashed by Cam and those guys too a few years ago as well.
Hold on. Do you really want to go there?
2015,
do you want to compare?
2015, who won that game?
Because
Cam. Who won that game?
I don't remember what year, but since you're going to bring it up, when we get off this call, I will research it. And I guarantee you.
You don't have to research it.
No. You want to poke the bear. I'm going to research it because I know that Cam Newton and Russell Wilson have played several times throughout their careers. And Russell owns him.
He owned him?
It ain't even. He owns him.
In the playoffs.
He owns him.
In the playoffs.
He owns him.
In the playoffs.
Period.
In the playoffs.
Do you not remember the pick six from Cam Chancellor in the playoff game? That pick six that Cam. I'm gonna send it to Kevin. We gotta show it.
I'm gonna send it to Kevin.
Kevin, you gonna get a video?
I will veto it.
I bet you would. I bet you would.
Okay, that was the last playoff game. We go by. You're as good as your last game. The last game, Cam and them blew out Seattle. Blew them out.
I don't remember.
Emmitt Smith would say blowed out.
We can look
blowed
it
up.
Out. So what? 1 out of 8?
Oh.
1 out of 8? Come on, man.
Oh, this is so good.
All right.
Stop it.
Okay.
This is must-see TV. I'm just trying to tell you.
Major League Baseball. I'm not going to let him drag me into this, man. I'm already tired. You know what I'm saying? I'm on a flight. I ain't falling for your little games. I'm not doing it today. Tomorrow, you're going to get me back. But today, I'm not doing it. Major League Baseball playoff. I love Derwin. Major League Baseball playoff. You like the idea? I like it. West Coast. You could do, Dodgers and Angels in Anaheim. On the East Coast, you got Citi Field and you got Yankee Stadium. I'm down with that. I like that, man. I love the idea. I'm glad baseball is having the foresight to see some of these things. I'm down with it. I love it. Renee, your thoughts here with the proposed early talks here, but, proposed MLB playoff bubble.
Yeah, and I like that because it's basically acknowledging that they understand the path they're on is not going to be able to continue successfully. So they're almost probably praying they make it to the playoffs. I feel like they're probably like,
well, it was only 20 players with the Cardinals and the Marlins. That ain't nothing.
I know, but baseball is struggling right now. They're fighting. They got players going out and not telling people, and they're getting rides home in cars because
people getting flued
out. People getting flued out. Baseball is unstable. So I'm just thinking the execs are like, boy, if we can make it to the playoffs, we can bubble them up and we can have some type of stability. So I just like that they acknowledge that this is not the way. Everyone needs to try to find a hub situation or a bubble situation. That has to be the case.
Hey, Willie, the Cardinals haven't played in over 2 weeks. 2 weeks. Yeah. Marlins missed some time. We see how this virus, this pandemic can sort of, wreak havoc in these clubhouses, in these locker rooms and dressing rooms in the NHL They've been also NBA no positive test once again out of 340 cases. NHL same thing. So the bubble definitely could work here. Your thoughts here? You like the idea? I'm all for it.
I am all for it, and you guys know what I like to talk about. I'm going to go back to a song that I listened to from 90s rap from a cat from the Bay named Ray Love. He said, I'm all about my Fetty, right? So Major League Baseball does not want to mess up that check from the playoffs, right? So it's potentially maybe $1 billion that they can mess up. So they don't want to mess that check up. And the other thing is they missed the window to take advantage of being the only major sport on television as they were fighting over some things. If we don't have college football, they could potentially be the only major sport if we don't have the NFL. And even if we do have the NFL, that's only on Sundays. So throughout the week, Saturdays included, if it's a truncated, abbreviated college football or none, Major League Baseball is ready to step right into that door. So that's what this is about.
D-Dubs, you like it? Playoff bubble, man? Any problems with it? Do you like the regionality of it? I like that they're taking these two big, large cities, LA and New York.
Yeah, I
you
like
got two teams right there. They also mentioned Chicago. You can do that in Chicago with the White Sox and the Cubs there, north side and south side there, and make this thing work from a Midwest perspective as well.
I like it. They have to try something new because now you're looking at the Marlins.
I just like the fact that they're talking and they're the gaming that they're planning.
Yes.
Right. But going back to what A really said, they were, fighting in the very beginning. Probably was a blessing in disguise because if they would have played 4th of July, it might have been worse. I mean, the less games, the better for the Major League Baseball. But I like it. The governor here, Andrew Cuomo, said, come to New York, because New York pretty much has COVID under control at this point. We got 2 baseball fields here, so that could be a hub. You talked about Chicago. They got 2 baseball fields there as well. And LA has 2 baseball fields. Yeah. So, it kind of works. And right now they have to try something new because, oh man, the Cardinals, the Marlins, the Phillies were affected. Yeah, I can't. They got to try something new. So
going out in Atlanta, going to casinos all over the place. Major League Baseball, they need to sit their hot butts down.
Yes,
they sit that hot butt down, and
the wings and thighs ain't worth it.
I'm telling you, Atlanta is getting a lot of professional athletes in trouble.
And breasts are.
Yeah.
It is getting a lot of people in trouble.
I just realized something.
In trouble.
Whatever.
I'm going to the A now. Good trouble. John Lewis trouble.
You better clean it up. Yeah. But Atlanta, I'm realizing, is getting a lot of people in trouble. So I will say, I like the hubs. Everybody better stay away from Atlanta. This is where players come to get in trouble. Like that is so.
Welcome to Atlanta where the players play.
Every ride on that day, like every day.
I will say this: it's good trouble, and Renee, I'm just putting it out there. You're probably gonna see me on Sunday.
Listen, listen, I'm gonna put it out there too. Larry Laptop better get me a nice gift, job, life, because I would like to say.
You hear it, LL. You hear it.
Okay, well, I'm gonna sit patiently. Then I like when people are working, so I ain't gonna press it. Okay.
What did I tell you? What do we talk about? Your big brother, he moves in silence.
Real G's move in silence like lasagna. Is that what Lil Wayne said?
What he said.
Something like that. Renee, here's your wheelhouse. I got to get out here before you get me in trouble. Your wheelhouse here. Paige, we're gonna go with Buchers. I should look that up, but young lady, very talented. Well, I know this. She's really good. Gatorade Player of the Year. She's going to UConn.
You know it.
She's a threat. She's a talent. I love the confidence because I know what I'm talking about because I looked it up. I'm prepared here on this fine program. She talked about winning not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 national titles and not losing any games. Is there any way in hell they can pull this off? I'm going to say she's got a shot. I don't know if she can win 4 in a row and go. They can win 4 in a row. I don't know if they can go undefeated 4 straight years. But, man, I could definitely see them winning 2 or 3, bare minimum. The question is, can they run the table and go 160-0?
Well, see, here's the thing that you have to understand. So I have to give you a little history lesson. There's already been players that have won 4. So when you talk about a program like UConn and you want to, and she's she's the athlete of the athletes. There's only so many of those that come out so often. Again, I have to talk about my people, Diana Taurasi, Brianna Stewart, Maya Moore. These are a certain class of athlete and a certain class of player that they always want to set the bar. They want to set the bar high because they want to do something new. Well, when you go to UConn, there's not much new you can do.
Yeah.
So at UConn, you're like, man, I want to be an All-American all 4 years. Somebody's done that. I want to be an All-American and I want to get MVP. Somebody's done that. I want to win all 4 years. There's a classes that have done that. So she's probably sitting at home thinking, well, what can I do new at UConn? You know what? I'm going to win all 4 years and we're not even going to lose a game. And what's crazy is we talk about those bears and you poke them. Well, I hope people start saying that she can't do it. I hope that people start telling her you're crazy. There's no way, because that's that bear. That's that bear we're talking about. Not to mention, hello, Coach Ariema. So you got the mastermind behind it. It's going to be difficult. I don't know if they can go undefeated. Realistically, I don't know, because there's off nights, there's injuries, you can't predict it. But I young gun just put it out there, like, try to beat me if you can. Like, that's basically what she's saying. Like, we gonna come for it. And again, when you're dealing with UConn, you got to set the bar high. It's so high already. What can you do?
Hey, Willie, you like this, man? Shooting her shot, talking her talk, love it. Got no problem with it.
And
it was, she was on. We had her on SNY the other day. Like, it was very it was almost scary. Like, she said it like nonchalantly, matter of factly. I was like, oh, she just guaranteed not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 national titles. And damn, they're not gonna lose. Could you imagine if LeBron or somebody said that?
Talk your talk, Paige.
Yeah,
how much we be talking about this across this country?
Facts. Yeah, you know, I love it because again, when going back to my scouting days, one of the things that we're looking at when we're in somebody's background, we're trying to ascertain if you're a winner or not, right?
Yep.
Because the white man can't jump line. Would you rather look bad and win or look good and lose, right? So there are a lot of players that are really, really good players.
Yep.
Kind of don't care if they win or lose, right? Especially when you start looking at coming up in the grassroots / AAU culture, when you play 3 games on a Saturday, doesn't matter if you win or lose them, you're going to play 3 more on a Sunday, right? And people are talking about who's the best player as opposed to talking about winning. I like the fact that she did that, because the other thing it communicates to as well is for other people, this is my expectation.
Yep.
And RENEE can attest to this. As a coach, when your best player is like, this is what we do, it makes it easier for everybody else, right? So I'm not saying she's going to walk in there being the best player, but eventually she will be, right? Whether that's day 1 or 3 years down the road. But the fact that she's already kind of laid down the gauntlet is like, this is how we do things. I respect that, especially when you look at the climate and the culture that we live in, where sometimes people go to, they'll go and they'll congregate together and there'll be 4 or 5 players going. And some of those players are going because they can go and hide, right? On the NBA side, you can take up some players at Kentucky and I don't want the smoke. So let me go and play with some other good, big time players so I can hide and still be a first round pick. Well, she put the bullseye straight on her shoulders, right? So I respect that.
D-Dubs, it ain't tricking if you got it. And it ain't cocky if you can back it up. Go ahead, Derwin, like 15 seconds. We got OG on the line. Go ahead.
As Willie said, she put the bullseye right on her back.
Yeah.
She wants that smoke. She's challenging herself.
All the
she knows
smoke.
she knows every single night she goes out there and play, they're gonna be gunning for her. And she wants it. She asks for it. So my hat's off to her.
Coach K, bring him in. I agree. I'm fascinated. I can't wait to see it. We'll see about Paige Buchers and how dominant she will be. This UConn team is going to be good. It's good news for us at SNY. We're the home of UConn athletics. I'm actually a little bummed I can't do the UConn football game. I do it with my buddy Sean. I'm okay, but no UConn football pre and post game shows this year, so I'm missing out on that. But whatever. It was going to be fun to watch them get smoked by Middle Tennessee. That was great. Let's bring it here live on Esports Xtra, only live call-in sports show talking traditional sports and esports. We'll take your phone calls 877-853-5247. Meeting ID Esports Xtra. Pound button twice to join the show. We'll bring in one of the co-hosts of the fine program. Let's talk some NBA 2K League. What's up, OG King Curt? Where you at?
Hey man, Brooklyn right here. I'm gonna tell you something, man. you know, unfortunately, I had some things I had to take care of, and I couldn't make it today. But I tuned in to the show, man, and y'all look good, sound good. Renee got on a beautiful shirt.
No way.
OG, you got to get a screenshot of that, dog.
Yeah, and Derwin's love for Cam.
Hate. Hate.
Oh, it's so good. So good.
Yeah. OG, let's break it down. NBA 2K League, the ticket, baby. Brooklyn Nets, they are in. You guys are the 9th seed. These other teams, I guess it'd be the other, 10 through 12, other 13 teams, 14 teams or whatever, 13, 14 teams trying to get this last spot in the ticket. T-Wolves Gaming looks like they've got that 10th spot, so they got a little bit of an advantage in the bracket. How does this all play out, and how excited are you to be in the dance, my friend, as the 9th seed, the Nets?
I'll tell you this, it's been a time. I mean, been through a lot this season. You know, y'all know a lot of the ups and downs and different things like that, but just to be in a position where we made the cut, I mean, we got a little help, you know, shout out to Washington District Gaming. They came through for us.
Y'all got a lot of help, dude. You had like 15 scenarios and they all went your way.
Hey,
you living right, OG. That's what happens when you living right.
That's it.
Yeah, but yeah, the league went a different route this year. I'm pleased with it. Basically, they saved the ticket into the end of the regular season. The 10th seed is basically automatically in the championship. Mm-hmm. So they will play the winner who comes out of the ticket. And that tips off tomorrow.
Yep.
And the championship be on August 15th at 8:00. And it's going to be intriguing because we have situations where, you know, 76ers GC are used to being at the top. They're playing in the ticket. We have Blazer 5 that's been dominant the last 2 years in the regular season and have made the playoffs. And now they find themselves in the ticket. And they're on opposite sides of the bracket. So one would assume that would be potentially the championship game to move on and play the 10th seed. So it's going to be interesting to play out. You know, for us, we've just been practicing every day, just working on some different things, trying to, you know, obviously this is time of the year where, you know, once you lose, that's it. So we're trying to hang around a little bit. I think we have Hornets Venom GT in the first round. So, you know, we played them pretty tough in the regular season. They snuck by us. And so we'll definitely be looking forward to that. And, you know, not looking ahead or anything, but Raptors Uprising, I'll be waiting for whoever comes out of that game. So me as a competitor,
my goodness.
You know, me as a competitor, why not play the best? I mean, you gotta beat everybody in the playoffs
exactly.
To win the championship.
Got to beat them at some point. Might as well get it out the way.
You have to go through the beast at a certain point.
Yep. Hey, OG, man, we're running a little heavy, man. I got to get Renee out of here, man, because, you know, the overtime is tremendous. It's a tremendous amount of pressure on our budget if we don't get out here at a good time. We want to get you on, man. Get your voice on here. We will see you tomorrow. Is that correct, kind sir?
Will indeed.
So we're confirmed like a Don King perm, right?
Yes, sir. I'll be there.
Guy.
Hey, OG, man, enjoy it, man. Enjoy your night, dude. We'll see you tomorrow, brother, man. And we'll get down tomorrow, bro, man. Be safe.
All right. Appreciate it. Y'all take it easy, man. Great job tonight.
All right, OG.
Yes, sir. OG, King Curt, and the Brooklyn Nets gaming crew in the ticket. Not in the ticket, in the playoffs. They'll play next week. As the playoffs start next week with the ticket, this final tournament starting today. We're going to move along. Matt and 21, the yard guys, real quickly. Backyard football. I
was going to ask y'all how y'all felt about it. Y'all are the football guys, so I'm like, do y'all?
Man, look at Dee's face.
I wouldn't blame.
That's the Shaq face.
So it's not like my player. I thought it's not like my player.
No, I mean, you can dress your guys up. You can put, different helmets and visors and wristbands and sleeves and
that's their answer to 2K getting back into football. That's what it is. It's their answer for that, and for people to be able to just jump on, grab the sticks, and start playing.
Yeah,
that's what it is.
I get it.
So I would probably like that then because it's simple. Is it simpler or something?
I mean, it's backyard football. I mean, you can run different stuff.
Like 6-on-6 or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, different content. Different things to, different in-game content. I'm just, it's for the kids,
cheddar, that in-game content.
It's transactional. I mean, microtransactions. It is what it is. I got no problem with it. I don't like bashing the game. Madden's been really good to us, so I'm not going to do that. But I mean, whatever. I got to be honest too. This is our show, and my honest opinion is meh.
Not my cup of tea.
Yeah.
I love football.
So, well, I guess we'll move on then. C4 on Black News Channel this weekend. Shaolin Showdown. Nice event. We're at the Kettle Black Sports Bar in Staten Island, for Staten Island, home of Shaolin Wu-Tang Clan. Had a good championship game there. I had two of the top, probably 25 Madden players in the world playing against each other in the final there. I had Yenny Love working the sidelines there. It was good. I had Bart Scott. Should be a good event to see that. I like the other sports bar settings. We started out at Buffalo Wild Wings, so it was good to kind of go back to a sports bar and be in one of those settings. So Saturday and Sunday, 11 a.m. Eastern and 6 p.m. Eastern both days. Saturday, 11 a.m. Eastern and also 6 p.m. Eastern, and Sunday, 11 a.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Eastern on Black News Channel. You can watch Black News Channel on cable on Dish Network, Comcast, Xfinity, and also Charter Spectrum cable systems. Prince O'Hare came over from NBC Sports, buddy of mine. He's the new CEO of Black News Channel. I think they're going to go from 35 million to about 55, 60 million homes. They're going to add about 30 million more. They're working on that. That'll be pretty good. They got to get on DirecTV. That's what I have. I think that'll be good if we, get on that. So they're working to get more, I guess, potential exposure, penetration, if you will.
Awesome.
When it comes to the other cable systems there. Also, more people around the country can see it. So we're out of that. But before we end, I want to run this quick clip. RENEE Montgomery.
Oh my goodness, I forgot about it.
She's been doing the rounds on TV and podcasts.
Shout out RENEE for supporting us out here.
Yeah, she's a big star. She ran into her match though recently. I want you to take a look at this exchange between RENEE and a young brother that does a podcast. And RENEE, she didn't hold no punches.
Oh, RENEE Montgomery. Oh, Montgomery. I'm so sorry. I can't.
It's okay, but y'all have to make sure y'all give me this audio feed of you trying to say my last name.
Oh, you will. I just see the picture now. But I want to thank you, Champion, for coming on and taking your time. I do appreciate. She's taken her time to do the show today. Today I have the one and only RENEE Montgomery. Is that I'm saying your last name right?
You are not.
What is it Montgomery?
Try again.
RENEE Montgomery.
You see?
I would love to keep it going, but it's RENEE Montgomery.
RENEE. Yeah, RENEE. I mean, real time. Shout out to you with your comebacks. Montgomery is your nickname. We're gonna get you a T-shirt that says Montgomery, not the Royal Mounted Police in Canada, not Montgomery in the city of right next to the damn state of Georgia and Alabama. I mean, how did you not laugh? Like, how did you deal with that?
Listen, I was actually in between two interviews, and so I was shocked. I thought I did not expect that. I thought, everybody does their intros, and I'm just patiently waiting, and he's talking, and then he says "sweetheart," and I'm like, and I was like, you
don't know me like that, dog.
I was like, wait a minute, and then so I'm really listening. And then I watch people, and I saw right before he says my name, he looks down at the paper, and I'm like, he has no clue. I knew it at that moment. So I was kind of ready just because I study people and I watch behavior. And so I saw him glance, and then he looked to the left, and I'm like, something's happening here. And Montgomery happened, basically. I didn't know that was going to happen, but I was just as surprised as you guys.
Hey, that's going to be the new Twitter burner account. We're going to call it Montgomery.
Talk greasy on there. Yeah.
We're going to get these tweets off. Yo, shouts to Mike Howard. I told him live on air, though. I was like, yo, y'all got to run me this. He knew what I was about to do with it. If you do that, though, you have to just take what happens after that. Like you got.
I wouldn't have given you the video. I'm like, hell no.
They sent it to me.
No way.
They sent it to me right away too. They sent it right away too. So I think he was probably like, I'm probably gonna get a lot of eyes on this because of it. So he was a good sport about it, but man.
Has he reached out to you? Because I mean, it got a lot of traffic on social media the other night. We were up at like 1 and 2 a.m. working on this and talking about this last night. We were laughing our butts off last night.
Oh, he maybe reached out to my manager. I didn't talk to him directly anyway, but man, I mean, people got to do their homework though. And the reason that it actually resurfaced is because somebody was actually on a Twitter rant. It was a journalist talking about, you guys have these WNBA players on here all the time. You don't know their names. You ask them what team they play for. And I get this all the time. They're like, oh my God, Renee, you're my favorite player. I loved you at UConn. Where are you at now? And I'm like, how you not know where your favorite player plays? Like, people say that to me all the time. So it was shedding some light on what people think is, that's normal, by the way. And I was telling you guys, people have messed up. My name isn't that hard, but if you don't know who I am, then it is a hard name. So people but if you didn't know my last name was Montgomery and you have to glance at a paper real quick to see what name you're about to read, maybe he didn't. I mean, he didn't know. He didn't know it well enough. Is my point. So a lot of people don't know WNBA players well enough that you're not gonna. Yeah,
we all make mistakes. There ain't no excuse. It's Montgomery. I mean, it's like I said, it's the damn capital of the state, literally right next to Georgia. Like, I mean,
but what did he say at the end though? He's like, "Oh, I see the picture now." So when he saw the picture, he saw that it was Montgomery, and so he didn't know. And then he said, "Oh, I see it now. It is Montgomery."
Well, so I can understand if you did that once. He said your name wrong 7 times.
7 times. That you counted.
One was a half of a slip. I'm gonna give him 6 or 6.5, but bare minimum 6.
Yeah. So, and look, we all been there. We've all been in a position where we've had to say a name that we didn't know in a sense of sports names.
Yeah, like Slavic or Arabic names, European names. Not Montgomery, not Jones, not Jackson, not Smith. I mean, he's on hard names.
Not Smith. I mean, look. This is my normal. It's funny because this is our world. This is a WNBA player's world. So that's what we deal with.
I love the sweetheart. That was the case. I was like, oh, this is gonna be good. He called it sweetheart.
Wow.
I was waiting on him to say baby king.
Man.
No, don't do that, dog. Don't listen to that.
Don't do that, dog.
Any thoughts, D-Dubs and A-Dub? We gotta get out here because Renee, she's gonna kill me.
I was shocked. It was painful to watch. I felt bad for him.
It was not painful. It was great to watch. We watched it for 4 straight hours last night. We were putting the show together. Every time we were about to fall asleep, we played the video. We were just laughing like, all right, we're up. Shout out to Kimberly Cruz. Thanks for that cake.
Oh my
Cheesecake Factory kept me up last night. Thank you.
Guys.
And Renee Montgomery for having the foresight and the gall to say, no, that's not right.
No,
correct.
right. That's the thing. She didn't let him off the hook at all. No,
try again. She's like, try again.
It's my last. I was shocked. Like, if somebody said they can't say Montgomery, Alabama, I'd be like, try it. Like, you can say it, try it. So that was kind of my thing. Like, there's no way this is happening. So WNBA life. That's why people need to support the WNBA more. I will use this as a PSA moment because now you start to see a lot more people into the WNBA. It's not because all of a sudden the players are so much better. The games are on TV now. You see more games on TV. You see the games on ESPN. They just bought 13 more games. Twitter just got some games. And now all of a sudden people know
the WNBA show on NBA
people
TV?
know players' names now. Yes. Shouts to NBA TV for now giving the WNBA a whole program where it's all things WNBA, not just a segment, not just but you see what happens? It's a trickle effect. So all the trolls that, no one's watching, well, people have a hard time just watching things on the internet. They're not going to log onto the internet. But if they can turn on the TV and watch, now we got fans. Imagine.
Moments equal momentum.
Hello, TMZ, somebody.
TMZ Sports. TMZ Live.
Yo, stop, Larry Laptop. That's you. Shouts to TMZ. Yeah, shouts to TMZ for just keeping and open up their platform for me. So I was the co-host for TMZ Sports, but now they're bringing me on for TMZ Live.
That's the big show. That's the big show.
That's what
Go ahead, Renee.
That's what Mr. Harvey, you know, and now that's gonna be my favorite thing. Who's the famous person in my phone? It's Harvey now, and he's one name basis. TMZ Harvey, you know him,
TMZ
right?
Harvey?
Yeah.
Well, one of the biggest names in my phone is RENEE Montgomery.
Boy, stop.
Am I saying that right?
Boy, you can call me Montgomery.
You are not.
Try again.
You are not. That's gonna be my answer from now on. When someone says something that pisses me off, you are not. I'm gonna start saying that to my kids. You are not.
We're gonna put down the soundboard when we get the soundboard.
You are not.
You are not. Like I just like, whoa, what happened there? But you know, I call you Larry Laptop. If you want to call me Montgomery, it's a deal.
Montgomery.
Montgomery.
From the mountaintops. Montgomery.
Right.
RENEE Montgomery from way downtown. Bang. All right, good stuff. Let's get out of here. We're way over. Coach K, thanks for pushing all the right buttons. D-Dub down there. Man, you still look good, man. That baby face and your brain.
Your
brain is aging.
You too, A-Dubs. A lot of chocolate. A lot of chocolate.
Yeah.
Larry Laptop. Kevin. Look at this.
D-Dubs down there. Got the fountain of youth, but your brain, it's aging.
Nah, the brain fresh. The brain is fresh.
Tell him, D. Tell him, D.
Hey, Willie, out there in Dalwood, tell Siobhan we said thank you for allowing you to come outside to play.
The two bosses allowed me to come and play for a little bit.
I like it.
All right. RENEE, shout out to Snook and Diddy, Serena Grace, also Kim Cruz, KCG. Shout out to her. Yep.
You see, this man is serious.
Get him, LL.
We got to go. That's enough. We're not going to do this to me tonight. No, thanks for watching.
Now we got now throwing up the A means a lot more, right?
Hey, get it up there. Come on, RENEE. Put yours up there too. All right, we good.
Put some respect. Do it properly.
See you tomorrow for Esports Xtra live 7 p.m.
Oh, you guys.